Israel. That is the picture that's here. Now, I want to spend again just a little time talking about the day of the Lord, though I have dealt with that a great deal in the minor prophets. But we have not exhausted the subject, I can assure you. And there's so much confusion today. Even as far back as 1951, I was in several summer conferences, and I was identified and associated with other ministers there, other Bible teachers. And that summer, I heard two of these men present a very hazy and indefinite and uncertain view of the day of the Lord. One of these men was specific, and he was very clear and accurate, that is, from my viewpoint and my judgment. But it occurred to me, even at that time, that if the pulpit is so fuzzy and foggy on this subject, what about the pew? Is there a clear-cut understanding of what the day of the Lord is? And what do you think of when you hear the expression, the day of the Lord? What do you think of? Is it clear in your own mind? Even those of you that have been going through the Bible with us, do you have a definite conception? Does it register? Does it click? Or is it just some nebulous and incoherent expression or phrase that just sort of like an umbrella, you can put it down over a great many things? And it can mean most anything, too. Sort of like the word glory. And we have people use the word glory. What does it mean to you? And there are people that say amen to something. What do they mean by it? Sort of like the Englishman, you know. He went into a restaurant in this country. He just was over here a short time. And he asked the waitress, he says, what kind of soup do you have? And she started out by saying, well, we have beans. And he stopped her immediately. He says, I don't care where you've been. I want to know what kind of soup you have. And then the preacher in the South years ago, and I think this is a great one, they had a business meeting, and he said, now we're going to call on the treasurer to present his report and let us know what the status quo of the church is. So one of the deacons got up, he says, Mr. Preacher, he says, I think you ought to explain to us what the status quo is. And he got up, he says, well, that's the Latin for the mess we're in. Well, friends, may I say to you, these expressions can mean different things to different people. Now, what's the day of the Lord mean? Well, it's an important expression. Actually, it occurs 18 times in Zechariah alone. And we've seen it in both the major and minor prophets. And Joel, well, that's the theme of his book. Malachi, that we're coming to next, he speaks of the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. In one sense, it's a theme of the Old Testament, one of the most important themes. And we want to break it down now, which I'd like to do. A day, what do you mean by day? And let's understand clearly, it's not talking about the Lord's day. The day of the Lord and the Lord's day are two different things. It's just like a chestnut horse and a horse chestnut. It's just like anti-fat and fat hanging. They're two different things.